2, 3, go!
In the shower, good boy. Good boy. Foxbody. I really need to do something about that computer. It looks so ugly just sitting there. Here we go again. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're actually going to be working on the Mustang. I'm going to go ahead and install this new alternator and this alternator bracket right here. If you guys watched the last video, I replaced this one because it was bad. And I have a lifetime warranty on it, so not the one on there right now isn't actually bad. It still works just fine. But, you know, if I'm going to go through the hassle of removing it and, you know, installing it back again, I kind of want to go with a brand new one, just to kind of take advantage of that warranty. This is the bracket that's going to hold everything together. This is an alternator bracket from Altered Fox. What this right here is supposed to do is it's supposed to delete the tensioner pulley. This is the new way to tension it right here. It's just a threaded rod with time joints on each end. If you guys watched the previous video, I did mention that I wanted to delete this. If you didn't, go ahead and click right here. But this is what the engine bay looks like currently on the car. I still haven't decided if I want to paint this bracket or if I want to just leave it chrome. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it chrome for now. And if I don't like how it looks, then later I will go and paint it. That way I can see it both ways, because once this thing is painted, you can't really take it off and make it shiny like this again. But yeah, I'll kind of walk you guys through it on how to go ahead and install this new bracket. It's super simple and it's easy. The only difficult part is that you do need to modify some of the bolts and some of the spacers. From what I've heard, I haven't installed this bracket before. From what I've heard, you do need to modify them. Shouldn't be too hard, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I do want to explain something real quick just for everybody that's going to ask. So in here, to take off this alternator bracket, it's really easy. All the bolts are really like self-explanatory. There's one there, there's one down there, and there's one in there up here, like by the where the water's at. It's right in there. You can't really see it. Well, you can kind of see the bolt hole right there. I already even removed it, so you can't really see it. But this one's kind of a bitch to get to because all of your water, all of your coolant lines are in the way. What I suggest you use is one of these extensions. I got this one from Harbor Freight, and essentially what it is, it's just an extension, and at the end, it's just a little bit of a swivel. So it's not necessarily a swivel socket or anything like that, although you could probably use that. But it's just an extension with a small swivel, and it's literally just enough for you to get a really, really good fit on the bolt, so that you don't strip it. But I just wanted to give you guys a little tip for any of you guys trying to attempt to remove this without, you know, pulling all the accessories and stuff off of it, all the lines. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going, and hopefully we'll have this out here real soon. Okay, so I got that bracket off. Honestly, super easy. It was no big deal. Literally just 3 bolts. After taking it off, though, you can kind of see that I've developed a little bit of a coolant leak. I don't know if you guys can see it. Well, there you can. Yeah, you can kind of see it. But yeah, it's right there. It's coming from the water pump, and I looked at it, and it smells like coolant. Really bad, actually. I'm just gonna ignore it for now. It's not that big. It is gonna continue to get worse though, so sometime soon I will address it. I just don't have the gaskets right now, and it's actually a pretty big job to go ahead and open that up, pull the water pump off, because you can't just do these. You have to do the timing cover and everything, because this is all a sandwich. And once you break these bolts loose, which I pray and I hope that once I break these loose, that doesn't get worse. However, we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and install the bracket as it is, and move forward with the install for the alternator. have it pretty much started, this is essentially where you want to be next. The idea is that you're going to take this bolt out and you're going to take that bolt on the bottom out, and then those spacers that they provide you, you're going to put one here and then one on the bottom, and then that's how that's going to fit right there. And then this is going to come forward, and then you're going to have the other joint which attaches here, which I might have to pull this bracket off and then trim it because it has this lip here, and I am pretty sure that that needs to be flat. I don't know if maybe there's a spacer that spaces it out here, who knows. But yeah, I might have to pull this off, and then you're able to pull your alternator on. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out which of the spacers works, and then I'll let you guys know which ones they were. That way, if you're watching this video, you're trying to do this yourself, you can kind of just skip to that part. All right, so I've made a little bit more progress, and I figured this was a good time to update you guys. So now I do have the bracket bolted up. As far as which ones of these spacers I used, the website that I got this bracket from had another separate little kit, if you will, and essentially what it was these extra spacers. You don't have to buy that one. However, if you don't, you are gonna have to cut down the ones that are included, because this one's about 1/4 inch too long, and then so is the one on the bottom. These two were already perfect, so all I did was just install them. Also, I did have to notch this bracket right here, so I just cut it flush on this side, and I trimmed it right here. One thing to note is that if you guys have a stud here stock, the way you would remove the stud is you would take these two nuts here. I believe these were just these nuts here. They're the same thread. So you just take these two nuts, you put them together really tight, and then what you do is you take the first one and then you can turn it if you just have a regular stud. As you can see, mine has like another little hex back here, so you're able to get like either a deep socket or something in the back and then turn it using this. Whichever you guys prefer, either way you are going to have to take this off and trim it, so you know you have to remove this and then use the bolt that is included in the kit. So I'm going to continue working on it and get this done, and then I'll check back in once I have it all bolted up. Alright everyone, so it is now the next day. Yesterday I got a little late while I was working, but I did get it all done. Let me show you guys pretty much what the finished product looks like. So the bracket that you're looking at is right there. There's the threaded rod to tension it out, and honestly this was a piece of cake to install. So once you get this installed here, and once you get that in there, you want to loosely tighten these bolts here, and then once you have everything mocked up with the belt off, you want to go ahead and tension it as loose as possible. But to measure for the new belt, all I did was I took the old belt and I cut it and I wrapped it around using the same orientation that I was going to use, and I took that threaded rod and I made it as small as possible. So you have to turn it until it's as small as possible, and then I ran this with the same routing that it normally has, and it is going to overlap a little bit, so you mark it where it overlaps. And then you measure the length of the belt, and then you subtract 1 inch, and then you should be pretty close to the belt size that you need. Don't quote me on it, but I do believe it was a 79-inch belt, and this is with the alternator, the power steering, and the AC compressor. I did delete my smog pump, which if you are going to do this alternator bracket, you need to delete it anyway. But once you have your new belt and you have your alternator bracket installed, you just tension it out, and if you can see, mine's a little bit sticky from here. That's because I put some belt conditioner on here so that it wouldn't squeak. You tension it out basically until you have no deflection. So what you don't want is for this to be really loose up and down. You want it to be like this, where there's virtually no up and down movement. You're still going to have some if you're running this orientation, strictly just because of the length between the two pulleys. It's really long, but in an area like this where it's a lot shorter, you have virtually nothing, and then you're not going to be able to take this and turn it more than about this way. The rule of thumb is that you don't want to be able to have it halfway through, no matter how much effort you put. So in this case, it's already good. I can turn the car on and it doesn't squeak. After this, you just connect all of your connections on the back of your alternator. You also have a lot more space back here now that your stock alternator bracket isn't covering this. But yeah, once you have all of that stuff connected, you're ready to start the car and pretty much get back on the road. But yeah, today's video is kind of a short one, kind of a small install. This was really just to help out anybody that wants to run the same alternator bracket. I didn't really see any other videos online explaining how to do it. It's relatively simple, and if you're attempting to install this on your car, odds are you're already pretty good mechanically, so you should already kind of know what to do. But yeah, that's going to be the end of today's video. If you guys did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button. I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you that watches these videos. The channel has been growing at a really good rate, and it's all thanks to you guys. So every time you guys share one of these videos, it helps me out a lot. So I want to thank you guys so much. I know there's a lot of you that watch these really consistently and that watch these all of the time, start to finish. So thank you. But once again, it's going to be the end of today's video. I will catch you guys in the next one.